I want to share with you a tip for communication that you probably haven't heard before, and it unlocks easy ways to build rapport with people instantly and stay there so that you can influence them. Speaking of influence, this is Daily Persuasion. I'm Joshua Lisec, the New York Times bestselling author and co-author, ghostwriter of more than 100 nonfiction books now, and a certified hypnotist. Through this unique lens of experiences, I teach you how to better influence the VIPs of your life and career. Now, speaking of rapport, something that I picked up a few months ago, when you are interacting with someone, you want to have multisensory persuasion going on for you. So there's what you say, there's how you say it, there's how you look, and there's also the physical movement of your hands. And a couple of tips that I have picked up is, now I'm kind of bad at this, and so I'm improving myself, is that when talking to someone, our eyes naturally move a certain direction to sort of recall or imagine sensory experiences. So like there's visual if I'm trying to look up and I'm trying to remember something, or I'm thinking about it, or I'm imagining and I'm visualizing it while I'm talking to you or to someone else. What is better, however, while talking to someone is, instead of, well, blah, 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 is to keep my eyes on you as much as possible. So instead of 20% looking at you and 80% thinking about the words and imagining the scenes and the visuals and whatnot and moving my hands about, it's best to do it 80-20. So I have learned, and I tested this a few times with little tests and micro experiments with people, you might say, where when it's 80% me making eye contact with you and only 20% looking up and away, just like that, and I'm remaining with you here like this, there's that connection that they feel, that you feel when the eye contact remains. And as I alter my voice to speak in more serious tones, lower tones like this, and my hands aren't moving about everywhere, but they're sort of just like right here, you and I, it's a very different experience, isn't it? Contrast how you feel watching this, hearing this right now, with when in the past I have tended to think about and use my hands a lot, and I'm all over the place, and I'm speaking really fast, and the words are all over the place, and I'm kind of imagining and looking and remembering how things feel. Totally different experience. Totally different experience. And the way that you move your hands, I sort of talk with my hands like a number of Southern and Eastern Europeans, as that seems to be a bit of my ancestry, together with the people of the British Isles, Irish specifically. When you are using your hands, use your hand in such a way as to illustrate what it is that you are talking about. So there's this bird thing that a lot of girls are doing now, not just online, like on TikTok, and not just Gen Z, but I had professors in college who would go like this all the time. They're like little bird thing like this, and I remember one particular professor, extremely liberal, far left wing, and she would go like this when she was making points about how Republicans are trying to take our rights. Take, 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 take. We got to stop the Republicans. Stop them. We got to stop them. We got to get them. And this is how she talked, like this, right? And she was a baby boomer. Okay. This is not just some Gen Z TikTok thing. TikTok didn't even exist yet. That was a few years ago. In any case, when you use your hands to accentuate what it is that you're saying and doing, you seem more put together. So imagining you're talking about how high the rate of something is. You see how my hands and how high the rate is, or how low, and it's just completely flattened. You see how my hands are illustrating what it is that I'm talking about. I did this at a networking event recently, and I found that when I was talking to the person who was present there about what I was saying using my hands so they could hear what I was saying through my body language, I had a captive audience. You can too. So to review, as much as possible, do 80-20 eye contact and then allow your eyes to adjust and then come back to making the eye contact. Something that I'm practicing this myself, so I'm showing this with you from my own experience, sort of bouncing around like I have in the past, as you know. And then when you are using gestures, when you're using your voice, sort of these nonverbal aspects of communication, submodalities they might be called, it's not just what you hear, it's how fast, how low, what the rhythm of the words is. And then it's not just hand movements, but it's ones that are perhaps quicker or they're slower, or perhaps there's even some touch casually involved. This is about charisma. This is what people say when they mean that person, just like they walk in there, they just got energy. And I experienced that for myself when I was talking to individual people and testing these for the first time, because I myself need to have improvement in practice, just as you do. And I want to give you a little bonus tip, just a tip. And that would be the next time you're talking to someone, and it needs to be someone that you know, so it doesn't sound like an interrogation. So someone that you know, when you have a conversation with him, only ask questions when you speak and only end with interrogatives, okay? Meaning a question. Yeah, I had a great week this past week. What did you do? They blah, blah, blah. Oh, really? How did that go for you? And then they say something and they ask you a question. Yeah, have you ever been to such and such place? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's where I went. And now when you went, did you happen to see? So everything you say ends with a question. And the entire conversation. I once did this with a massage therapist. I think it was one of those 90-minute experiences. And I only ever asked questions, and the therapist didn't realize that that was an exercise because it just felt normal and natural. Wouldn't you agree that it would if you did that too?